Oh, he's absolutely sexually attracted to Tora.
I mean, Tora
100%. He'll just never
Tora is
do
part of
anything
his
about it.
novels. Tora is part of his novels.
Right. He's paying attention. Welcome to The Story Thinker, a Webtoons and Witcher podcast for superfans with scene-by-scene analysis. Featuring sharp co-hosts for a fuller picture, we dive deep into character psychology, relationships, and theories. We'd love it if you could like, subscribe, comment, and rate us on all podcast platforms and social media. For bonus content, you can support The Story Thinker on Patreon. Let's begin. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 124 of Midnight Poppyland. And today we are here with Ralu, Eileen, and Veronica.
Hi, everyone.
So,
all right, so this episode, I feel sometimes like this episode was written for me because my favorite character has a very big role here. And I want to thank you, Lily. I'm very grateful for your graciousness. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
We got a lot of
good episode.
Yes, and I'm very proud of him. So let's go see what he does, because he does some very non-Quincy and very Quincy-like behaviors all at once.
I'm excited to talk about that.
Yeah,
because we haven't seen Quincy really, not very much, and
we haven't seen him killing it like this.
Yeah, so this is officially clan business, and we've never seen him. I mean, we've seen instances like office clan business, but not action clan business.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting.
Yeah, he's adorable. So we start out with his perspective. He's down in the parking lot, and he's thinking, they know that's Tora's car, but not mine. And must be someone he bullied on the road to come take revenge. Which also just shows, do you remember like the first time we saw Quincy, their relationship was, Tora was bullying him. So it's like, that's his thing. He's like the little brother, and he's always been bullied by Tora, and he's always been, the weak one and like pushed around, and it's just in his head.
Can I just say, I love that even in this, his car is parked badly.
Yes.
Because it's like she just can't, it's just like she'll never let him park well except for that one time.
Well, 𝗵𝗲, he's perfect, but he can't be that perfect,
Exactly. He has to have a flaw. And the flaw is he can't be bothered with parking correctly.
No, he will not be bothered. He used to drag race, so he does know how to drive.
Oh, yes.
Right.
So, but he just
driving and parking are not the same.
Yeah, no. And he will park anywhere. Like we don't care at all.
I think that's the attitude parking. Like I don't give a shit. The road is my road. Is my business. I don't give 2 cents where I park or how I park.
Yeah.
Yep. And we see a little flashback of Quincy, checking out the tire, and we see that it's flat. And Quincy has the nerve to say, "Dear Lord, you're as flat as Cordelia's chest. You poor old gal." That is so rude, Quincy. Why you gotta point it out like that? Oh my gosh.
No. He's so mean.
Like, why did you have to do our flat chested ladies like that? Come on, bro.
Because you poor old gal to the car, not to Cordelia. To the tire, you poor old gal.
Yeah, so. but he compared it to her chest. Yeah. I'm like, damn, bro.
That and the joke, in the previous joke that is somebody who takes revenge on. I think it's just his way of coping with the situation.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't want to acknowledge that they are in big trouble and that there are people shooting after them, so tries to deflect in some way.
Yeah, for sure. He definitely needs to throw some jokes to make him less nervous about the situation that he's in.
I feel like Quincy
not actually built for this.
Yeah, I feel like he's the one that is, when things get awkward or weird, he'll be like the one that says like a very inappropriate joke. He'll get so awkward that it'll be like he'll just like start laughing or do inappropriate things just to break the tension.
We also haven't seen Cordelia in a while, and last time that we talked about Cordelia, she mentioned she was a lawyer, and there was definitely some shadiness. So I'm sure she'll come back at some point. There's like so many loose threads that have to get woven in. It's like
Last time we saw her name mentioned was when Tora asked you to look into her when he was in Moonbright.
Yeah.
So
maybe we'll
Which is
get
a while
intel on
ago now.
Cordelia at the same time that we get intel, you know, with today, the picture that he sends with Cat Lady.
yeah.
How long ago would you say Moonbright was now
Ah,
in
I can't
their
remember.
world?
Not
I have
more
no
than
idea.
a few weeks, a week, 2 weeks, something
Watch,
like
it was probably like 3 days.
that. I don't know.
I cannot keep track. I really, I
Timeline's
think
really hard.
I think it would be like,
They
I
spent
mean, if
days
we
at-
go back when they went to Moonbright and then they came back.
Let's track it backwards. So they spent a few days at Felicia Bay before rescuing Louise. So they took like one day and one night to rescue Louise.
Mhm.
Then prior to that, they spent like 2 days at Felicia Bay.
Yeah.
Prior to that, Poppy was attacked in her apartment.
Yeah.
There's a weekend
So
there.
another that weekend she moved in to the house that Tora bought.
Yeah.
So another 2 days. And before she was attacked, she came from Moonbright. Tora brought her from Moonbright, right?
Yeah.
I think we
So
could be
it's
looking
about a
like
week,
maybe
a week and a half.
maybe
Yeah,
3
I
weeks
think it's only been about a
overall.
week and a half.
Wow. It feels like a long time ago.
I
Yeah.
know.
Indeed.
And so he's sitting there in the car. He's all ready, and he has a very worried look on his face. He's like, "What's taking Tora so long? I hope they're fine." But it's so funny. And then he's just like blushing and just enjoying himself all by himself. He's just enjoying his memories, and he's like, "Those two are too pure for the world." He's crying. He's so cute.
Oh,
I don't know what made him think that.
yeah, me too.
It like came out of nowhere. Like, does he think that they're like doing something?
I think he's just thinking
think
about them, and he's just such a sweetie pie, and he's so happy that Tora is in a relationship that he's just like, oh, like, yeah, even though they are in a very anxious and dire situation, he's still taking the time to like 𝗘𝗹𝘂 in their joy and be like, oh, I'm so happy he's together.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
good old blind optimism that Tora was talking about with Poppy at coffee shop, that he's at the very essence, he's a very good person too. And you'll try to find the positive in any situation, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he says, my heart, and he takes his phone, buzzes, and he sees that he sent a message a few minutes ago. Be careful, they're waiting outside. Tora now 5, and it still says sending. Tora 5 just now 5:45 says 5:45 a.m. by the way, which we were wondering what time it is. Like, these poor guys have not barely. Quincy slept a little bit. Tora and Poppy didn't sleep at all. This is just lack of sleep all around.
Yeah.
I think Quincy is the one that has gotten the most sleep out of the 3 of them.
Yes.
So if anything, it's actually good that he's the one driving.
Yeah, but it's not nearly enough for his needs. Maybe his sleep deprivation talks now, like, my God, they are too pure for this world. Like, he's still not fully
awake.
Yeah, who knows?
And Tora asks, still here? And he says, lift 2, entrance, count of 5. So he's like, of course, Tora, in like curt and brief.
Doesn't waste any words. Why should he?
Also, I don't know about you, but if you have a message that you have to give me like right now, call me. Why do you think I check my messages every second? Like, this is just like very, very risky.
So maybe he just doesn't want to be heard.
Yeah, that's
like within, like, so they'll know which elevator he's in, or I don't know.
Maybe also, he has voice over text, like he just speaks the message, but it translates into text so that he doesn't have to type it in, waste time, type it in.
Oh, whatever the case is, he's very.
I don't know. That's
right away.
That's just an idea that came right now, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and Quincy now sees that his message was not sent. So like Tora did not get the message that they're waiting outside. So now Quincy looks up from his car and he sees two people with guns right outside the elevator entrance. And he's like, holy shit. And we go further and they're like ready and armed. They're ready to shoot. And he's like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit.
Shit got real weird very fast for him.
Yeah.
This guy is panicking.
Panic face. I love his panic face.
Like he's completely freaking out.
You can feel the adrenaline rising just by the panel with holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, by the lights, by the speed.
It's like nothing else is in his mind right now. Yeah. Like he just can't think of anything else other than holy shit, holy shit, holy shit.
And it's so good because he's transmitting his anxiety to us, you know.
Yes.
You know, it's like, oh my God. And you feel for him too, because you start to realize these people have guns. I mean, not just guns, they have rifles. And, you know, he's just sitting there, you know, he doesn't have any weapons. We know that he's not very open to violence. So he knows.
No, what are the odds of him being trained?
Oh, he is for sure.
And I bet he has like a really good shot.
I could see the opposite. I could see him like missing every single thing.
You know, no, I see him being a really good shot only because he's just like, it was so embedded in him, because you honestly think that Vince would let him just be total shit at it.
I agree with Vero, and I actually have I've been thinking about that since I saw his scar on his eye. Remember that Quincy grew up with Tora and with basically Tora's group of kids. Now we know that he was exposed to a different lifestyle because of who he is. But I think when he was growing up, he wanted so much to be part of the group, to have that brotherhood, that sense of friendship. So I do believe that Quincy may have experienced not only Tora's training afterwards, because he is who he is and he needs to be prepared. We were talking about that in the last episode. But I also think that scar has a lot of significance for Quincy. And I'm very intrigued of what's the story behind that scar and how he got that scar. Because I do think that it was done in a very violent way. And I think that it may have had an impact on how he views violence from that moment forward. So I don't think that Quincy is as squeaky clean as we think. I do believe that his reaction, his visceral reaction to violence, could be maybe a trigger or some form of PTSD that he suffered from before, who knows. But I do think that he is trained, and that, you know, he can be violent when it needs to be out of him to be violent.
Well,
it's just not something that he chooses to do.
In the episode with the elders meeting, right, he said, we looked up to you, Dad, referring to him and Tora. So I can imagine that sometime during his teen years or even later, he tried to impress Vincent or, I don't know, please him. And I'm guessing that he tried to copy Tora in lots of activities, including driving, including shooting, including being in that Ares Street Kings gang and acting like the other thugs, more or less, just to blend in, just to be, that's speculating, but I can see him acting this way. As for the yellow car, I think it was in the first few episodes when he bought it on a whim, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was an impulse buy.
Yeah, it was an impulse buy.
Because he didn't want to take a taxi.
What I wanted to point out in these panels is that the masked men, I don't know, individuals, they are not looking after Quincy.
No,
They're not chasing Quincy.
Mm-mm.
they're
And
not chasing Quincy.
yeah, they are
He is
waiting
not the
for
target.
elevator
He's not the
because
mark.
they know it's Tora and Poppy who are going down, but they don't care where is Quincy.
Yeah.
A little
And-
short-sighted
and-
of them. You would think they would think like he's the getaway driver.
Yeah.
And that's so good that you pointed that out, Raluca, because now that if we look at that from a process of elimination, then if they don't care about Quincy and Tora is just that fucking bodyguard, we have our mark.
Poppy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
They're
Poppy is the mark.
Yeah.
It's not Quincy, it's not Tora.
Hmm.
Now, do you think that she's the mark because it was put out there that she had the notebook, and so she has this large bounty on her head? Or because
That's
of
one
possible
of the
connections that go back to Moonbright that she doesn't know about?
Oh, yeah. So these are the two threads, the two reasons that they might be after Poppy. One would be because she is numbered, and they now traced her back to Quincy's apartment, and they want the bounty, but they already look like they are part of a rich organization. So not necessarily, I don't think it's something that has to do with the government, because they are too casual in killing. And
they come across as mercenaries.
yes, they come across as mercenaries.
They're not
Like
again.
personal.
They have resources. They have resources for helicopters. They have resources for speedboats. If we remember the break-in at Poppy's apartment, they left on a speedboat. They have tactical gear. They have weapons. They are all dressed the same. They have ranks. So it's a mercenary organization, a mercenary company. It can be another clan, or a richer or more powerful clan. We don't know that.
No, I feel like they were there. I personally think that they are soldiers for hire that don't work for any clan. They just work for money. They're soldiers of fortune. That's what they are. I mean, which then like circles back to like Poppy's, or not Poppy's, but Tora's mom, who was an assassin. So I wonder if it's like same organization, just obviously not Tora's mom. So,
Wow. That would be fun.
That was debunked.
Yeah.
So, but makes you wonder.
Somebody
We know work for the same organization Tora's mom used to work for when she was an assassin.
That would be a very cool tie-in.
Yeah,
yes.
that would be nice. And we also heard from the lady that Tora fought in the last episode when she said, "Sorry, boss, all habits die hard." So we know that she has a boss, so she's working for someone. We don't know who that someone is, but you know, it could be.
What if it's Tora's mom and she runs like a crazy successful group of assassins and mercenaries?
I thought the idea was that she was falling
Tora's
apart though.
Sister.
We put our Delulu theory out there, and our Delulu theory, had Tora's mom being part of if not a clan, then at least a family that was powerful. We already know that from the connection that they have with Ulan and everything, that they are a powerful family.
Yeah.
So it's not out of the realm of possibility that it could be a clan, and that Tora could be related to that clan either by blood or by something else. It could be Poppy. Remember that we still have all those breadcrumbs floating around of who she really is. Is she really a Wilkes? What's the story behind her family? We know that her mom left. We can assume that it was because her mom, didn't want like the small country life. She wanted to, be a big corporate. And who knows, what if Poppy's mom leaving turned her into, the leader of another clan. Who knows? You know, a smart woman, an ambitious woman that can climb that ladder can definitely become someone very dangerous to contend with. And maybe she's trying to bring Poppy into the fold because it's her daughter. Who knows? I mean, at this point, we have so many loose threads.
Every time I think of that approach, I'm like, Poppy's mom or whatever, send a letter, send a phone, make a phone call, knock on the door. There are less aggressive ways to reconnect with your daughter
than having a masked person just basically attack your daughter. Like, that's not maybe the most, you know, a gentle approach. But at this point, I think we are kind of like reaching, if you see this past episodes, like everything has been developing kind of like at an accelerated pace. And I do believe that there's going to come a point, we can get into that a little bit more into the episode, but I do think that we have kind of maybe a reckoning coming in, or at least some clarification on some of the breadcrumbs that we've had for this time. But yeah, it's definitely someone with resources and power that we can definitely put down on that list. From where it's coming from, we don't know.
Yeah. So Quincy, to his credit, by the way, if you notice, even as he's saying holy shit, he has put his hands on the wheel where previously he was holding his phone. So he's kind of like doing it really quickly, probably without thinking. So he puts his hand on the wheels, and then you see him slam his foot on the gas while he's still saying holy shit. It seems like it's speaking of training, it seems like it's kind of like an automatic reaction. Like he's not really mentally deciding or processing. He's just like instinctively doing this. And he's and he's just like holy shit. And we see the two people with the rifles just like looking up at him. And because they were not paying attention, as we said, and they are totally blindsided. And Quincy's just revving up the car and slam. Wow.
Yeah, he just
I have to also say,
into them.
He managed to slam into them without slamming into the wall, unless they like maybe moved a little bit up ahead because they maybe were walking, but like they're right by the wall. That's like a lot of effort to like slam into them really hard without then slamming into the wall. That's like a foot behind them.
And you can see splatters of blood, so you know that he meant it. Like he went full out.
Like you see them flying.
Like
that was a decision made in let's say the last resort, the single thing that he could have done, because he's not armed, he doesn't have anything else, any other means to warn Tora, and even if he would have warned Tora, it would have been already too late. So he probably saved both of their lives right now.
Oh, absolutely. He did.
I love it so much.
Closing his eyes and running to people over. He saves the day.
Well, I think his eyes, we can't tell if he closed his eye, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
He says later, you think I looked?
Oh, okay.
I think
hilarious. It's like killing a spider, but like, I can't do it.
Wasn't even looking. Yeah, he says later in the panels.
Okay. I'm so impressed. And the most hilarious part is that then the elevator goes ding, and Quincy and Poppy, Tora and Poppy step out, and they don't know at all. They're like, oh, look, here's our car service, just parked right in front of the elevator, waiting for us. Oh, you know what? So it looks like the two people actually did move up, because if you see, whatever, he's not by the wall, he's right in front of the door. So, oh my God, they have no clue. Poppy's like, Quincy made it. Wow.
And you can see that they've been running. Like she's this disheveled, like she's probably sweating, like she's a mess.
Oh yes, and Tora is definitely not a mess.
Well, his hair is always messy, so doesn't change.
He's the most beautiful mess.
Well, I mean, also like he works out and does cardio all the time. Like Poppy doesn't run for like a living, but he probably trains every day, so he's not going to break a sweat with running, unlike us mere mortals.
No, mere mortals that neck look good while doing all that.
Sure.
And then, oh my God, poor Quincy. You just see them looking at him in the car, and he's shaking, and he's like, "You're okay. You're okay. Well done,
I
Quincy."
love it. He's giving himself a pep talk. He's like, "You're okay, Winston. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay."
Just like patting himself on the back.
Okay, but let's be honest, what he did was really scary.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if any of you ever
Kill someone? No.
kill someone. No. If you ever hit somebody, something with the car.
No, I can't
I
even.
rear-ended someone once.
Unfortunately, yeah, I did once a very large dog. So it's scary in itself, just the bump, just the hit itself. Imagine that being two people.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand why now he's on adrenaline. Quincy is running on every second. He lives in the present, but once he cools down and he realizes what he did, it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
He also, he values human life, even if that human life is like out to kill his friends. He still would feel terrible that he had to do that. It's not something that he wants to do, and he can't just fall asleep at night and be like, "Oh yeah, today was a great day." So I wonder if what fallout we'll see from that.
Do you think he's ever, with like himself, not like made the order, but do you think he physically himself has ever killed someone before? Or would this be his first time?
I don't think so.
I do.
Okay.
I think he has killed before. And I
You
think
think
that's
so?
why, yeah, I think he has killed before, maybe not a lot, maybe it was just that one time. But I do think he has experienced that trauma. And I think that's why he understands Tora so well, and why he protects Tora so well, and why he's so adamant when he was talking to Poppy to make sure that she knew that Tora had a moral code, and that he did not enjoy what he had to do. And the only way that you can feel that kind of compassion, maybe, and that kind of empathy, especially when it comes to something as serious as taking a life, I think he would be someone who has experienced that before.
Yeah, because he did say when he told Poppy
we both do.
He is a hitman and that he kills people. He said we both do.
Yeah,
we both do. So it's like, that does tell me he doesn't just give the orders. It's not that he's just given the orders. He's physically done it before, whether he wanted to or not. Something tells me every time he's done it, if he's done it numerous amounts of times in the past, it's always been with severe reluctance. And because he had no other choice.
I agree with you on this. If he has ever killed someone before this moment, I think he did it by being forced to. Either by his father. I can definitely see Vincent putting Quincy, giving a direct order to kill someone.
Yeah, because like, how is it that you get that crest? The Baldwin crest.
And he has two.
And he has two. One because he's an heir, but it could be the second one could be because it was an earned crest.
That he has two because he's heir to both clans.
Yeah, but why would he have a Baltimore crest symbolizing the, Altman clan? Like he would have one that signifies his mother's clan, his maternal clan, not just his paternal clan. So something tells me that one is an heir crest, and then the other one is an earned crest.
That's
could be.
That's
even for, and still, even for him, they're both hidden. If you see, I think Sarge and Claude have the mark in their necks, the same as Tora. I think so. But he has one over his heart and then another one on his arm. I think that was the placement that Lily put it.
I think Claude has no mark. no visible mark.
I thought the only other person that I've seen the crest on was on Shark. Yeah. The Claude doesn't have one. At least not that I've seen.
Yeah. I was trying to remember. I remember Shark, but I wasn't really sure about Claude. But either way, on both him and Tora, it's visible. Or at least, you know, when Tora shows it to the thugs, you know, and they understand immediately, like, oh, this is elite. So that symbol on a person means a rank. So maybe for Quincy, one of the tattoos, like you said, Vero, it could be like it's a representation of his clan, his family, his familial alliance to the clan. And the other could be that he's also elite.
Yeah.
I think the place of the tattoos also mean a rank.
I mean, we know that he has athletic abilities. He caught those like binders super quick when Poppy almost dropped them. So he's very agile. He's got quick reflexes.
Yeah,
you know?
He's trained. I'm sure he's trained.
I think Quincy is trained. We just don't see it because he's like a cinnamon roll at the same time. You know, like his instinct is to be soft and delicate and prim, but you know, it's been forced in him to not be. So he has both, you know.
He has to counterbalance a lot of dark shit in his life with blind optimism and positivity, toxic positivity.
Yeah. There's definitely something I think that he and Poppy have in common.
Yeah. She acts the same, just when she wants to hide her traumas. She puts up a brave face and starts joking.
Remember that our girl likes to sharpen knives to soothe herself.
I know. Sharpening knives is just so therapeutic.
Yeah.
And I am not gonna forget that little detail about our girl. Because I know deep down that means something. Whether it is that she's very good with knives, we don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
But yeah.
All right, so now we see the elevator is coming down again. It says level 3 is coming down. And Tora looks at it and notices it, and he says, let's go. And if you notice at the same time, he's protecting Poppy's head with his hand.
Always.
He's in bodyguard mode right now.
And Quincy's like, hurry, get in. I was so worried for the both of you. Oh. And Tora's basically like pushing her in. And then at this point, you notice, well, okay. And Tora asks him, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, but I think I killed a few people by accident. By accident. By accident.
Accident on purpose.
Well, it was.
Killed?
Sure.
Come in.
I love his question. He's like, killed? You sure? How many?
And he's like, how am I supposed to know these answers? How am I supposed to know that I think I accidentally killed them?
By Tora's reaction, we can speculate that Quincy never killed anybody still. Because Tora is very surprised. Really? You killed people? How come?
I know, his face is very surprised. Yeah, but it could just be because it's not something that you still expect from him.
Even if he has.
You know, you don't expect that to happen just because he doesn't, you know, Quincy doesn't have an appetite to do that. Like, he doesn't have the stomach for it. But it doesn't mean he's never done it. It's just that it's not something that you would expect him to do. So it's like, really? You did that?
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
And he also says, like, I killed a few people by accident. So he doesn't specify that it was these motherfuckers that were lurking in the background that are part of the bad guys. So I can maybe think of Tora going like, wait, hold on, people, accident? Well, like, how many? Like, how's the
like,
cleanup?
why would you just kill some random people by accident? Yeah, he didn't specify that, like, they were armed and in military clothes, tactical gears, and that they were, you know, going to kill you. He didn't say that. Just killed a few people.
Also,
just a
that's
few.
interesting because
accident. So his intention was not to kill them.
No, I don't think that was ever his intention. It was just to like maim.
Yeah.
go away.
Slow them down.
It's also, it's interesting because
Neutralize.
I think he says that because then that makes him feel less guilty. I don't think he wants to live with the fact, oh, I set out to kill these people and I killed them. I think he's like pushing it away in every way possible.
I just try to eliminate the danger, and maybe they got killed by accident, but I didn't want to kill them. That's it.
Yeah, I think, for him, it's all about the intention. The intention was, I didn't mean to. And if they did, it was an accident. So.
I also hope that Tora is smart enough to realize that, to assume that these people were malevolent actors. Like, I don't think Tora is going to think like Quincy just killed, random people waiting for the elevator. I hope Tora is smart enough to recognize that they were bad guys.
So Quincy reacts like my children when they play and they hit themselves. They say they hit each other by mistake.
And you're like, I know you didn't do that by mistake.
No, they really did it by mistake. They are always like, I didn't mean to. It was an accident. But they were playing rough games, like they were fighting.
Yeah, they were being rowdy. They just the one that blame.
Yeah. But it's the same. It's the same attitude, and we see it in Quincy, a grown up.
Which makes you think, like, what would happen if Quincy were to be interrogated by the police?
You would.
You'd be like the nervous blabber, like the lawyer would be like, shut up.
Actually, you know what? No, I think that's when Boss Quincy would come out.
You think so?
I think so. I think that's when cool, collected Boss Quincy will come out, and then he'll just be like, oh my gosh, I just did that. Afterwards. Oh my gosh. And he would just freak out afterwards.
Yeah, it would be like, okay, no.
He has to act. And he has to show up, and he has to make that face where he's Boss Quincy.
Yeah.
He's really good at it. He plays that role. Like, he slips into it really, really well. And then he lets himself have his panic attack later.
Right.
So I think that if he were ever questioned by the police, he would actually handle it really suave.
Yeah.
And then just break down afterwards. Such a panic afterwards.
That's a very good observation. And that's the same thing that he did now. He did what he had to do on the moment.
Like, he will definitely vomit in a trash can later. Absolutely. He will vomit in a trash can later. He's just not going to do that when he knows he needs to be collected enough to get them away. He's gonna have he's already freaking out, but he's gonna have his really bad freak out moment at some other point.
Yeah,
about what he just said.
And you can see that he's still freaking out because Tora's like, "Oi, the fuck are you waiting for? Let's go! Like, let's go! Come on!" Because he just wants to like talk about it. And Poppy is squeezed in on Tora's lap, and she's just she's still recovering.
Still panicking.
Like, I know. I'm Poppy. Sorry, Quincy's like, I know. God damn it! How do you reverse this thing? Of course, he's at this point now. He's like just back to being inept and unfamiliar, and probably the anxiety is not allowing him to think so clearly.
His brain is not braining right now, not at all, not in any capacity. He's like, I don't even know how to use this car.
Yeah, and now Tora and Poppy are just like squeezed in because this is a sports car. It doesn't even have a back seat. It's so useless. It's ridiculous.
Pointless in cars.
That's the only good thing about this type of sports car. Like, it's a two-seater, but the space from the two at the front is usually like a lot of space. So it's like you can fit, but that's basically all you can fit.
Okay, so this moment in the car is like in every other romance novel when there's only one bed.
There's only one seat.
The one seat row.
And they have to squeeze in together because they both have to make it somewhere. But there's only one bed. This is the romance novel's one bed moment.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is.
It's hilarious. Yeah, and Tora's dumping and he's blushing. And then he like kind of whispers to her, sorry, sweetheart, a little cramped in here. And she's like, I noticed.
No,
But
her
but
face
did you
so wide,
notice?
like her
But
eyes.
did you notice? Did you notice what she noticed?
Yeah, she
Okay, go back
definitely
to
is
the last
noticing.
panel. See where his hand. Yeah, that's he was, he had to grab his, emotional support booby.
Yes.
So that's what she's saying. She hadn't noticed, and if you see the panel before, that he has his hand kind of like right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just sort of becomes like, and then he goes like this. He's like,
He's
sorry,
like, oh, I
sweetheart.
just realized what I did with my hands.
Yeah, I just
I
realized
just
what I
went
did
into
with,
my emotional support booby mode.
yeah, emotional support booby mode.
Yes.
It's like I needed my little teddy bear and my emotional
You
support booby.
see how he's just like removes his hand, like, oops, just kidding.
Yeah, you see that he has like a
Right.
little face going in, like, oops.
Sharp.
And she's
Adorable.
like, I just noticed, like, and you can interpret that I just noticed in many ways. It could be like, I just noticed we're cramped up, or I just noticed like you were kind of like feeling my booby. But either way, it's like a very awkward moment for both of them, and you can see also like the physicality of them
I
both.
think she just noticed because she was sitting in his lap.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard not to notice.
No, obviously that
Yeah.
too. It's hard not to notice. He's a big boy, as we have
that's
already
not the only thing
established.
she's noticing while she's sitting on his lap. Not his hand placement. It's definitely not just his hand placement.
Yeah.
No,
that she's noticing. No, because he's still in his great
Her moment with not with your hands.
And
No,
that's
I mean,
actually very
Tora
good
is literally in his gray sweatpants. You feel everything through gray sweatpants, okay? You notice
Yeah.
everything through gray sweatpants.
And you can see that she's more dirty than him. And because he's like, oops, sorry, I grabbed your boob. But she's like, yeah, I noticed. And so, and you know that she's noticing what Raluca is saying. Like, she's noticing other things. I don't think she noticed the boob grab.
Mm-hmm.
So she's a lot more dirtier than he is.
She reads a lot of novels. She's also realizing at this moment that it is the one bed moment in the romance novels that she reads. Okay.
The difference is that in the one bed moment, they don't have gun attackers on it.
That's true.
Quincey might use this as fodder later for his, material.
Oh, it's definitely fodder.
Behind the curtains with a gun machine in it.
He's like, do you remember when he was like, office tries in the closet? Right now in his mind, he's like, getaway car, guns shooting, sexual tension of the room.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. So, well, the elevator has arrived. It goes ding once again, level 1, and out steps another masked person with actually a smaller gun. And the person starts shooting the cars. They're like popping in at the back of the car, and Tora's like, and Quincey's like, I'm trying. Go. And I think that was Poppy. And now we have a masked person in front. He's trying to reverse. They're looking backwards. There's more people. There's the 2 people on the floor, and then there's like 2 other people who are shooting. One's right next to the car. And so he's verring, and then it's like just popping out real fast. Again, ver, and then you have the person looking. And I think, what do they do?
And again, you see them like they're so bad. But you have to question yourself, like, what are they shooting? Are they shooting to stop them, or are they shooting to kill?
Yeah, well, you really can't tell.
You really can't tell, but because you have, in the last panel, you have the person that is coming kind of like up front, and then you see that they have another person like right next to where Quincey is driving, but he's not shooting. Mm-hmm. The others are shooting at the back of the car, but he that is right next to Quincey's window, like, he's not shooting. Like, you would think that he would shoot.
Yeah,
it was just he was in motion. I mean, he could have.
Oh yeah.
A part of me thinks that they're not actually trying to kill Poppy, but take Poppy.
Right.
Because if they were trying to kill Poppy, why didn't the first masked dude that went into her house, why didn't he do that? He tied her up though. Instead, he tied her up, which meant he was going to take her to a second location.
But at the time, she wasn't numbered.
She wasn't numbered. Yeah. No, she wasn't numbered. Actually, exactly. You know what? Good point.
Yeah.
Take it back. I don't think these people are after her because she's numbered. Because they were going after her before that. And they were just trying to kidnap her before that. So I don't think they're trying. I don't think they're trying to kill her. I think they're trying to take her.
They also don't know who Tora is. And I think
they don't know, and they don't know who Tora is. They don't mind killing Tora. They don't mind killing the bodyguard, whom has now saved her twice.
And they don't care who Quincy is.
And they don't care
who Quincy is.
Yeah, and if it was a
really
mafia
is
thing,
like,
they should
who
know this.
are these people, and who are these people that are like hired or set out to like pick her up? Because she's definitely still the mark, but I don't think they're out to kill her. They're out to just their whole role is like to extract and bring to second location.
Yeah,
not to kill. Because you're right. Like why didn't this guy who has a rifle shoot at the windows? Because it increases the odds of them accidentally hitting her.
When
they're not trying to kill her. They're just trying to slow them down so they can get her out of the car.
One thing that doesn't align is when the intruder broke in her apartment, that happened before she came home. So
the Moonbright?
No, in her apartment, in Poppy's apartment.
We were talking about that maybe when they went to her apartment, they were looking for something. And then she just happened to come in, and we know that they didn't want to hurt her.
Surprise them,
because they tied her up, and she was actually able to nick one of them. So now we're kind of like looking at everybody's hands from this moment forward. Like I'm looking for a scab. Every time a new character comes in, I'm like, let me see them piggies. Let me see that. So we definitely know that they were looking for something. She came in, they tied her up. They didn't want to hurt her, we don't think. And then obviously she was not numbered at this point.
We talked about it.
We talked about it.
You with Patty as well, and I think I did in the previous podcast, I don't remember. But when they went at Poppy's apartment, after the break-in, the photography with her parents was missing. So the theory at the time was that they were looking, well, at least that's my theory. I don't know if it makes any sense, but maybe they were looking into who exactly Poppy is. Maybe they were looking for proof of who she is. So I don't think they were looking for the notebook at that time. But when the episode came out, everybody was saying that they were looking for the notebook. That's what I thought as well. But later they were probably looking for something to confirm that Poppy is the person they want. And the photo with in the photo there were two pictures, one with her grandmother and one with her mother and father. So
I think with this episode, like Vero and you said, Ralu, that it was kind of like confirmed that it's not Tora and it's not Quincy that they're after at this point, because they obviously don't show any kind of
interest in Quincy,
and Tora is just, that bodyguard that, get rid of him, he's an obstacle. Is it me? Is it my turn?
Yeah, just a second. So basically, so Quincy basically he reverses and slams into even more people, and then he shoots out of there. It's really cute. It's like those the car just flies up. It's like a movie, you know, like it's just really cute. It's adorable.
And you can see that guy in the ground like, fuck, he's gonna ran me over again. And he goes, slam. He backs it up and hits him again.
In reverse, yes, Quincy.
I mean, at that point,
Found
he's
it.
gotta be, he, there's no way that dude could have survived being hit by a car twice. Like, no, he definitely
Maybe it was another
unlined
guy.
at least that time.
Yeah, those were definitely last words.
That was not,
like,
that was, yeah, that was
like, fuck.
Maybe that was another guy, the one in the back.
All right, Eileen, take over.
All right, so we are out already and we see that there are cops all around the building. And Quincy is saying no one's following. Looks like they aborted the mission, but we're still surrounded by a lot of cops as we see on the next panel. And Quincy is kind of crawling in the streets. And he's like, geez, this place is crawling with cops. No thanks to me. And like, and then Poppy comes. He's making jokes like, look at me, I called the cops. It's me. And Poppy is like, she's over it, and she's like your flashy sports car is crawling right now.
I know,
and
crawling
it's right.
with
It's like
blood
you're
all over it.
Uh-huh.
It's covered
It has
in
blood. It has
splashes
gunshots.
and cracks and gun holes. Yes, let's crawl this bright yellow sports car covered with all this stuff just down past.
Draw any attention whatsoever.
No one's paying attention to us.
No one.
Not at all.
And the fact that it's a canary yellow, you know, it's just like a
Could
pop
it
of
be more
color.
in your face?
Exactly. Could we be more in your face? We don't think so. And then we see that people are, you know, that neighbors are outside. So we kind of see how this whole debacle has really escalated. They're like, it wasn't just the chopper, the chopper. We heard gunshots everywhere, even the basement parking lots, and our children on their way to school.
Okay, 1 second. It's
What time did these
5:45
kids start school?
a.m.
What
How
time
did
do exactly?
What, who goes
Well,
to
you know,
school?
maybe
I wake my kids up at 6 a.m. to go to school, so I can relate to that.
Wait, what's
Yeah,
my
but that's you
do.
waking them, not sending them off. They haven't been
Well,
sent off to school yet. They're just being woken up. Like, how are
Yeah.
they on their way to school
Sent to school
at
at
5:45 a.m.?
well, I used to, like, my dad had to be at his work at 7 a.m. So even though my school didn't start until 8, I had to wake up with my dad at 5 in the morning. So we would
Wow.
we would actually be coming out of our house at 6. So, you
Oh,
know,
man.
who knows? But I mean, it's morning. Let's say that it's 6 a.m. already.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So 6
They did
a.m. is,
have
you know, the
a fight
time.
in the parking lot, so they had like a few minutes in the parking lot.
And you know, maybe it's not something that is culturally ours, but you know, I have seen a lot of, you know, other cultures that have no problem sending their kids to school, walking, and you know, like really little kids. Like you would not even dream about sending your kids that small by themselves to school, but other cultures do. So, you know, it's an interesting factor to add to the fact that it really caused a commotion in the community, in the vicinity, and especially in the building. And then she goes, Quincy, stop eavesdropping and drive. And he's actually hearing what the people are saying. He's like, God bless the Good Samaritan who called the cops in the nick of time. And she's like, we haven't slept in 2 freaking days. And he's like, shush, I want to hear what they're saying about me. It's like, Quincy, this is not the time to self-serve. Like we are on a time crunch, buddy.
Oh my God.
So
Then you feel the damage that the car
narcissistic.
has.
So nice, like but what about me? Like, let me hear about me.
Oh my God.
And you can see that Poppy is kind of like, you know, she has like the little vein in her head, like she's about had it, and she's kind of like, you know, like Quincy, like, you know, she's getting physical
The little hamster
Yeah,
is angry.
yeah, the little hamster is like about done, and she's like, please just move. And we see that Tora is on the phone as well. And then it's like we were all sound asleep, and that thing was so silent. It's not for that person who knows what would have happened, so he's still enjoying the fact that
he's being
a
he loves
hero.
that he's being praised right now.
yeah, he's been
Poor
praised like he's
dude.
a hero, you know. Sorry, Quincy.
Like he's the hero. He's like, okay, I might have accidentally killed people, but I'm still the hero here.
Exactly. Like, look
Yeah.
at all those children that I saved.
Right. He probably
Like that.
doesn't get enough validation from his father, as we know, and from people around him. You know, his main social life, or the people that like are supposed to count, the mafia people, they look at him as like a big wimp. So
Yeah.
this is like he's finally getting recognition for being brave. It's not something he normally gets recognition for.
Yeah. He like
And
cares
doing
about
something
validation.
naughty because, you know, he called the cops.
Right.
You know, the prince of the mafia called the cops. So
Yeah.
he's like, I'm being praised for being a hero, and I also do something a little naughty, like I called the cops. Like, good is good for him.
I'm praised by the cops.
Exactly.
The irony of that. So I didn't get any validation from my father, but well,
Yeah.
getting it from law enforcement.
Yes.
And then we hear Tora. He's like, step on the goddamn pedal before we get pulled over, Quince. We'll be stuck in this state till the nightfall at the speed you're going. And then we see that he has sent the picture that Poppy took to 𝗥𝗹𝗄𝑒, and he's asking for an ID ASAP. So we know that already, you know, he's in work mode. He's like, who is this bitch? Who are these people? And we were talking about that, you know, him kind of hesitating and letting her take the picture. And because he knows, he's like, I can't fuck you up right now because I don't have the time or the resource, but I'm going to get you later.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing that she took that picture. And then goes Quincy again. I know, just give me a sec. And then we see the next panel. Actually, Poppy turns around and she looks at Tora and she goes, Tora, your arm is bleeding. And he goes, huh? I didn't notice. And this is actually amazing because we see him and he goes, patch me up. And he kind of squeezes her in. And Raluca and I were talking about this, you know, as a parallel to the episode where she says that she loves him and he completely shuts her out. And then afterwards, you see on the artwork revision, Lily actually included those two panels that for us really made a difference because you can see the point where he gets this memory of this interaction with his mom and how his mom shutted him out. And then he actually recognizes the behavior in the way that he did it to Poppy.
Yeah.
And he acknowledges like, oh shit, I fucked up. And for me, this panel is so amazing because that touch me up means so much than just, you know, put a band-aid over a scratch. You know, he's actually opening himself up to her, to be vulnerable and to actually experience what his mom didn't get to experience, which was him showing his support.
Yeah.
And now we see that he's allowing Poppy to be there for him, which is something that Raluca was saying, you know, that he lets her be his support. You know, this man, Quincy has said it 1,000 times, this man doesn't ask for help in any shape of form. So I'm pretty sure that the only person that he has told in a very angry manner to patch him up is probably a clan doctor. You know,
and
so
she probably's never been patched up unless like someone else sat him down and made him get like stitches because he's like bleeding profusely and he's gonna die without it. He can't. But I wouldn't even be surprised if like Tora knows how to like stitch himself up.
Yeah,
because he's like, fuck it,
exactly.
I'm not gonna have someone else touch me.
And you can see, you know, like Patty was saying, how he's still, he's still showing with his body, his physicality, his love for her, how he squeezes her to him, now it's a complete 180 from the bedroom.
In the episode with Joe, when he came to Alice's restaurant with a broken jaw, and then Joe was giving him a talk like, get this money and go see your doctor, you stupid idiot.
You little brat.
You little brat, go see and and do better. But even then he acted brave, and he put up this front like, that's not a big deal, that's fine, I'm fine, I'm okay. So
which then makes you
this little thing, okay, patch me up, I didn't know this, for me it's fine, it's just a grace, I didn't, for me it doesn't matter, but it matters to you. And this is him opening up like, okay, I am allowing you to, I am accepting your care, I am accepting your worries, and
your love.
I'm showing a little vulnerability here.
Yeah.
So that's really 180 from the bedroom episode. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that obviously we're in an enclosed space and they don't have a lot of space to move around. But if you see him, like, he's completely open now. Whereas before he gave her his back, he didn't want her touching him. She tried to stay connected by grabbing his arm, by grabbing his shirt, and he was like having none of that. And now it's the complete opposite. Now he's like squeezing her to him. I want to be as close as possible. I want to feel your warmth. I want to feel your presence, in like, I'm open.
You can see from the background as well that it's lighter. The mood is lighter. They are safe for now. They are like they can finally draw in a breath. They can breathe easily now, and they can focus more on the aftermath, let's say.
And the next panel, it says, it's her response. And I found this so cute because it really shows how well they communicate without having to say any words, because you see that she gets like a little flush and she goes, oh, okay. So she understands the message. Like, she understands that it's not just, oh, patch me up, it's a grace. She understands what he's doing and how he corrected his behavior from before. It's like, before, when I was in the pits of despair, that she knew that he was, I completely shut you out and I'm not going to do that again. And she understands, and you can see that little but dumb, like, oh, okay. And she goes and she says, okay, I'm going to grab the bandages real quick. And we see Quincey's face, with the bags under his eyes, like he is
driving like an old man.
He's driving like an old man. And then we see that he's actually looking from the rearview mirror. That juicy old booty.
Wiggle, wiggle.
Wriggle, wiggle.
Oh my gosh. So when I was reading this episode, it originally uploaded when I was working at the shop on Saturday. And so I like ran to the back sewing room to like read it quietly by myself while I had the moment. And then my 7-year-old nephew comes into the sewing room holding food and is like trying to feed me while I'm trying to read this. And this was what was on my iPad. And he's like, what's that?
Auntie, what are you reading?
Nothing. All my 7-year-old nephew saw was a little poppy butt. It's just like, geez.
Auntie, what are you reading? Can I read it too?
To be alone for like a moment.
In 11 years, my dear, in 11 years, you'll be ready to read if you want. Not yet.
Yes.
And then we see Quincey is actually the one looking through the rearview mirror. But we see a little pop-up, keeping a close eye on those speed bumps like a good Samaritan, Quince. So we see our little jelly possessive little Tora coming out, like he's still calling him out like, hey, stop.
His haggard face. I love his haggard.
Yeah, he's like, I can't even enjoy a good ass. Like, thanks, bro.
Poor Quincy. Quincy is like, he's maybe the word is too strong, but I'm gonna say like a little addicted. He's got this like need. I think maybe it's because he doesn't actually have a relationship in his life, but you see that he's constantly, he's very flirtatious, and like he seems to, have random hookups. I feel like he's missing something in his life where he's constantly, looking out for that maybe that warmth that he doesn't have, like a really like intimacy that he, anyway, it just seems like a little bit much.
Quincy is a free spirit. I think he values his freedom very much, and he is free to date whoever he wants, whenever he wants, and even if now he has a crush on Poppy or appreciates her endowments, I think it's just in his nature. Like,
he's a flirt.
I think for Quincy, Quincy is naturally a very sexual person that appreciates other people's sexuality and sensuality. And I don't think I think, what he has when he looks at Poppy is more like an appreciation for her womanly body, but I don't think it goes past that. I think it's all very superficial, because he's just a very sexual person that appreciates other people,
I think also piggybacking into what you're saying, Vero, I think at the beginning, I think he thought that Tora's infatuation with Poppy was purely physical. And there is a moment that I always say that it was kind of like my aha moment for Quincy, when he's talking with her, when they're moving her in her apartment, and you see that he says something about Tora and she laughs, and you see that he looks at her, but like really looks at her. And for me, that was the moment when he said, so this is what Tora sees, the fact that it's not just that she's a curvy brunette, which is something that I think he thought was Tora's feelings for her. Because even when he's in Mumbai, that he's talking with Quincy, he's like, I'm sorry, you're gonna tell her what?
Like, we just talk about this and get over it.
It's like he's actually kind of acting like, really, like this chick, like I don't think he truly understood but everything that Tora has done.
When she brought Ben, sorry for interrupting, when she brought Ben to Quincy's apartment and he was looking after her when she went to the bedroom, and he was like, okay, yeah, totally his type. So she has a curvy body, she has a nice ass, but okay, it's totally Tora's type. So he judged her by her looks. He found her mildly attractive, let's say, Tora's type, but he wasn't invested in her until he realized her spirit.
Exactly.
And that moment was what you were saying in the
it's like he understood, like, oh, this is the appeal, this is what he's seeing that I used to didn't see before. And I think from that moment forward, he started to see Poppy in a different light as well. But I think for him, it was more in the light of he's looking at her as a person also. And we were talking about this in the last podcast, right, Mindy, when we said that, we believe that Quincy may not be in love with Poppy, but we can definitely see him loving Poppy. As a person, as a friend, as a sister, as a, so is
and feel sexually attracted to her.
And sexually attracted to her. He can have.
Quincy's sexually attracted to like everyone.
Yeah, exactly, because he's very
Quincy's
flirtatious
literally
by
sexually
nature
attracted to everyone. He's just
to everyone.
very openly sexual.
I would put it past him to be sexually attracted by Tora as well. So
I think he's sexually attracted to Tora.
Oh, he's absolutely sexually attracted to Tora.
I mean, Tora
100%. He'll just
Tora
never
is
do
part of
anything
his
about it.
novels. Tora is part of his novels.
Right. He's paying attention.
We have the next panel, and she's saying, there, shoulder all done.
Oh, wait, I do have a question.
Yeah.
What is Poppy doing by grabbing her butt?
Oh, because she noticed that Quincy, because since Tora said that little
Called him
snarky
out, yeah.
remark, Poppy realized that her ass was on full display for Quincy to see, and she's like, "What?"
I think she's actually like pulling down her shorts, like the little flip.
She's like trying to like hide her butt a little bit.
Yeah,
Not very effectively with her tiny little hands.
yeah, not very effective. And Tora's kind of like looking to the side, like
He's like, "I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
I'm behaving, Bobby. I'm behaving."
Yeah, but I bet she wouldn't mind if Tora would have looked. So
No, she would definitely want Tora to look at her, just not Quincy.
interesting observation that Tora called Quincy Good Samaritan. That
Yeah.
he was listening to what the cops were saying while to you the picture. So he's multitasking like hell.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like Tora sees and notices everything. Everything. He does not let anything get past him.
I think Except, noticed how Quincy appreciated
Poppy's "I love you" that flew over his head by a mile.
Yeah.
I don't think it did, but the shock was definitely
until she said it. I think it was his blind spot.
Well, he definitely didn't expect her to say that.
Yeah,
for sure. But I don't think it flew over his head. I know those three little words are still ringing in his head.
Yeah.
And I think also he knows the fact that he didn't say it back is playing a lot into his physicality when it comes to her.
Sorry, I meant before she said it. The fact that he had no idea. So before she said it, the fact that she was in love with him, he was totally blind to it. Okay.
So she says, all right, there, shoulder all done. Good thing it wasn't a very bad grace. And I absolutely love this panel. It's, you know,
it's like this little turning point in their relationship.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, there's like a certain level of acceptance that has happened here, where it's like almost like a little glimpse into what their futures together will be like. You know, he comes home after a hard day of like, you know, killing people and stuff like that, and he's all injured, and he's like, you know, patch me up, and she's like, yes, I will patch you up.
A little
my hardworking man.
Domestic bliss mafia edition.
Yes, absolutely.
Let me tell you, man, she's checking all those mock white boxes.
I know. Like
you
the
know?
way just like, let me just do this real quick. You know, like it's only a matter of time before Poppy learns how to like suture. She will learn how to suture, and she will do it so well because she has those steady artist hands.
Yeah. And not only that, but she's used to, I mean, she's not queasy around blood, and she has already mentioned that she was a very clumsy child. So she's used to patching maybe even herself up.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's a matter of time. She's gonna learn how to suture, and she'll just stitch them up. You know, this is a glimpse into their future. This is how they're going to be. They're going to just, he's going to come home all roughed up, and she's just going to make him feel better.
Yep. And I screenshotted this comment that I saw on Patreon, and I want to share it because at the time I didn't have like the words to kind of express what that panel evoked. And Eliana, if you're listening to the podcast, baby girl, this was, I hope you get forehead kisses every day for the rest of your life and all the lights turn green when you go home. Eliana said, Poppy patching up his grays with bandages right after his not so great flashback of him giving his mom bandages. It's almost like she's healing two things at once, his arm and his inner child. And I thought that was such a good way to represent that switch in his mentality, you know, how he corrected that, you know, he no longer has to partake in the same trauma over and over again. You know, now he has someone that he openly allows to take care of him, someone that he's openly vulnerable and won't hold it against him, which is, I think, something that he has had for a very long time, you know, using his weaknesses against them.
If Patty were on right now, she would be saying that this is Poppy reparenting.
Oh, for sure. For sure. You know it. You know Patty would go there.
Yeah, if Patty were here with us, that's what she would say to this panel.
Yeah. And I kind of don't want to get like too much into the reparenting thing, because I know Patty really want to get into that, into her analysis, and I'm so like, I want her to reach this episode and all of this, like this whole arc, I want her to reach it on her own analysis, because I know that she's going to give a lot of insight into that.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to kind of like go too much into it, but I thought Eliana's comment was just like,
yeah.
And another thing from that same post, and it came actually from Lily. And I thought it was so beautifully worded and really encompasses what I've been feeling from him from this whole arc. And Lily said, let me see, he's become emboldened in a way that he hasn't been since they first met. The difference is no longer the arrogance of a man who has nothing to lose, but the strong, quiet confidence of a man who's found the road that will finally lead him home.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what I've been feeling from Tora since the moment that she said, I love you. You know, it's like this acceptance. You know, we talked about it before on the last episode, how kind of he has been with one foot in the clan and one foot in the possibility of the life that he could have. And now, since the moment that she said those words, it's like a switch went off in his brain, and he's completely invested. And there's no doubt in his mind that this is the road, like this is the moment that he has been waiting for. You know, he was just kind of like existing up until she, you know, they found each other. And up until that moment, he's been kind of like on and off, like, you know, I'm going to push her away. This is going to end badly. You know, I have all of my shit. I'm so fucked up. But it's the acceptance of not having to question her feelings anymore, and just, you know, being in that confidence that I know where I'm going, and I know this is my future now. Like I'm 100% clear that this is where I want to go. And it translates so beautiful. Like he's not even looking at her. He's looking at her bandaging him. He's like,
yeah,
you know, with a little blush on his face, you know, so cute. And then he activates the smolder. This man.
No, and then once the smolder is on, it is on.
It is on, girl.
He's not thinking of the curse anymore.
I think there is a part of him that is still, I mean, these are all traumas that he has, like throughout his life. I don't think her saying I love you is going to change all of that overnight. I do think that he still has a lot of, I mean, and he says it, like Poppy line, I am a goddamn mess right now. But if you give me a little bit more time, I'll get there. I'll get there to the point where I'm good enough for you. And I think that's where he's striving now towards, to be a better man for her, to make choices that are going to be for them, better for them.
I'm thinking that he's fighting himself. Like so far he fought himself to stay away from her or not to get too invested. But once she flipped the switch, as you said, and I agree, now he's fighting himself to get rid of the baggage. And I think that he doesn't want to believe in the curse. Maybe he believed it before, or maybe he still believes it, but I think he doesn't want to be tied in by it. Like when he said, "Get out of my head," both of you. It's, for me, that was a step in breaking the cycle. I do not have to accept this as being yeah, I don't want to accept this as being my whole life, my truth.
Yeah. I think maybe part of the curse is for, to break that curse, a part of him does have to die. And I think that is like his old life, like his old life dies for them to have their like new life together. And so until that happens, I do think that he's always going to be like, I don't think as long as he knows that the current life that he lives will always put Poppy in danger, he's not going to allow himself to be fully in it still. Because he cares for her too much for that to happen, because he's always going to worry about her safety.
I think the more time he spends with Poppy and the more she shows him that she's there for him no matter what, being that they go through a shooting or she patches him up or she stays with him in silence or she cracks awkward jokes to deflect and to lighten up the mood. So I think the more time he spends with her, the more emboldened he feels.
Yeah.
So the more fight spirit he has and the more courage to, okay, I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna find a way to fix this, to have it all.
And you see also in the context of what they're doing right now, she just survived her first shootout.
And she's
still with him, not scared off.
And she's not in shock. She's patching him up. She's like, there, all done. Thank God it wasn't something more.
Right, she's not
serious. She was in shock for 2 days. She was panicking after her break-in, so now she was shot at. But she was with him, so I think that a part of herself was like, okay, if Tora is here, I'm safe, no matter what.
Yeah.
And I think he feels that too, that responsibility that,
puts her trust in him.
Yeah, she trusts me with her safety, so like I'm gonna be her knight in shining armor. I'm gonna be the hero that she thinks I am. Because up until this point, he's been looking at himself as a villain, as a super villain. And then all of a sudden, she's like trying to change the script. Like
all of a sudden, she says to him, "You're a hero to us, to all of us."
Yeah,
you're a hero.
Which then takes it back to the hoodie that she has of his that says Superman on the back.
The little.
It's like there's so many like full circles happening.
Yeah.
That hood is never going back into Tora's closet. That's for sure.
Oh, it's never going.
Well, is this still in her apartment? Has maybe that's also been stolen together with a picture of Poppy's mom?
It better not have been. It's probably somewhere.
She has two now. She has the Superman jacket, and she has his t-shirt, his dinosaur t-shirt.
Right. Oh, such a cute t-shirt.
Yeah.
And then we go. She obviously gets very flustered when he goes, "Oh, Eugene Fitzherbert, the smolder on her." So she goes and she pushes his face. And she's like, "Tilt your head away from me a little. I think I see some gadgets on your neck." And this is what I love about them, how they can just crack a joke like anytime. And he's like, yeah, take your time. And we're going to stuck in this yellow shithole for a year at this rate.
When I hear him say, take your time, to me, it's like he likes to be taken care of. This is like the only time he's allowing himself to be taken care of, and he's relishing it. And he's going to savor it.
Yes.
Yeah. He's like, sure, take your time. Touch me. Like,
right. Like those
you know, like, yeah, you know, like the monkeys, like, yeah, como que 𝗥𝗹𝗂𝗱, like, yeah. And then
That's
Quincey, yeah, Quincey says, well, we actually have only 200 miles to go. Be patient. And could you lovebirds kindly put on your seatbelts, please? Quinston, this is a two-seater. Like
how are they going to put a seatbelt on over
like,
the both of them?
Like, calm down, Gramps. And then we start to see that someone is acting up, doing little sound noises, like, ooh, oh fuck, Bobby. And so maybe our boy is getting a little bit delirious. We're going
He's
now.
definitely like delirious from lack of sleep right now. It's really catching up.
I honestly,
yeah, and I think he's fucking around with Quincey too.
That's what I thought. I thought he was just.
That's a warning to Quincey.
Oh, he's definitely fucking with Quincey. Absolutely, he's definitely fucking. He's putting Quincey in an awkward situation so that it entices him to drive faster.
He is blowing up his territory.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's like, well, Quincey, you wanted material for your novel by eavesdropping last night. I'm going to give you material. Here you go.
And now it's kind of interesting to see how the roles switch, because remember we had in the last two episodes, Tora dad, like Dad Tora trying to gather all his chickens.
Where are your shoes? Come on.
He's like, come on, let's go. God damn it, Quinston, the bags. And now he's like, Quincey has actually assumed the position of the dad. And he's like, this fucking teenagers, like, can you hold, you know, put a stop on your horniness for a second? And they're just kind of like messing around, and she's giggling like,
she thinks his antics are just so funny.
Yeah, it's, you know, she's like another mob wife box check. She's like, Tora, stop that, I didn't even touch you. And she's giggling again, and he's like, not with your hands.
Oh my god.
You know, with the little street slang, like, you thug. He's such a thug. And then obviously we see that this completely irritates Quincey. He's actually even sweating, like you can see his arm. Like,
I know, he's like,
which, by the way,
awkward right now.
That forearm, like, boy. I mean, Quincey is taxing.
Works
out. And then he just kind of like slams on the accelerator. And then
like breaks, no? But
we ride off into the sunrise. To where we don't know.
I know, what is this 200 miles? Like, are they going to Felicia's Bay?
Oh, we don't know.
Yeah, like, where is he going?
I assumed Felicia Bay, but
yeah, that's what I'm assuming.
So I have a little thought. It would make sense to go to Felicia Bay. I mean, it's in a clan neutral area. But I feel that maybe they will go to Moonbright. And that is equal parts exciting and horrifying to me. Exciting because it will be Poppy's two worlds colliding now. You know, her personal life in Moonbright, meaning her granny, and her family finally meeting, you know, Tora and the whole mess that she's in. And it's equal parts horrifying because it's her two worlds colliding, you know, her grandmother, you know, meeting Tora and the
but I don't know if they would go.
But Quincey doesn't know where Moonbright is.
I don't know, because they wouldn't want to put Poppy's grandmother in danger if they're being followed.
Yeah.
They wouldn't want to trace it back to Like Poppy wouldn't want to trace it back to her grandmother. She would want to be as far away from anyone that could end up being collateral damage. So she wouldn't want to be close to her grandmother. She wouldn't want to be close to Erdine or Jacob or anything like that. She would want to be as far away from all the people that she cares about, because what if a tracker was put on Quincy's car? What if they actually did? Because they don't know that they don't know Quincy. They don't know, they knew Tora's car. You don't know if they don't know Quincy's car.
And they definitely need to rest. Like, it's not, at this point, they have to go someplace and just rest.
Yeah, sleep.
They need to sleep, and they need to, like, basically try to come up with a plan, because right now they did two things that they have to worry about. There's going to be consequences of the meeting with the clan elders and Vincent. We still haven't seen how that is going to blow over.
Yeah, like all of it's the same night still.
Yeah, we're still in
It
the
is
same
the
night.
same night. That clan coup happened. Tora went and
we also have
for
Martin.
the CDs.
We also have Martin and Sarge, and I didn't like the look that Martin gave Tora when they were leaving, because that promised payback.
Yeah, like I feel like there's
for them would be in the Altan family.
No, for sure. I mean, Tora already, I think he did Vincent that as a last favor. It's like, I'm gonna go get your shit, because when he did that, I know a lot of people were confused, like, well, why would he do that? Or why would he destroy Vincent's dirt? And I think that was a very strategic move.
That was the closure. That was the
that
was Tora's closure. It wasn't. He doesn't
but I
care
also
to
think it was
hold
very
something over
strategic.
Vince.
I think it was also very strategic of Tora to do that, because while Vincent may be the downside of power, he still has a lot of key players under his command. And he's very volatile. So, and I think Tora understands that better than anyone. So I thought it was very strategic of him to do that, not only as closure, but maybe to kind of send a message to Vincent that yes, this is closure for me, but he didn't even tell him that he had destroyed it. We kind of assumed that he destroyed it, but he didn't tell Vincent that he destroyed it. He's like, you just have to keep guessing. So I thought that was very strategic of him to not tell him, like, yeah, I got your shit and I destroyed it. He just said, I found it. And he's like, well, are you going to bring it to me? And he's like, nope. Live with it. And I thought that was very strategic of him to kind of have like that ace in the back.
That was the exchange of power when Tora outranked Vincent in terms of the power in the clan.
Yeah.
But I think, maybe they won't go to Moonbright, because you're right, putting Granny in that position. But I also think, well, how long can you avoid this?
Yeah,
he's the clan leader. He has to do something. I'm sure they have daily operations or whatever.
For the foreseeable future, she's on the run. She's numbered still. This just because Quincy said that he was going to take over, which he hasn't yet. He just announced that he was going to do it.
There's a possibility they go to Felicia Bay because nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
They might be safe there, or they might go to a different place, maybe in Quincy.
Another safe house.
The beach house. Yeah, who knows?
I know. I wouldn't mind them going to Felicia Bay.
Yeah.
Like, that would be nice if they went to Felicia Bay.
We need a reprieve.
We take ghosts over attackers any day.
We need like a.
They need at least like a downtime arc, please.
Not too much excitement and too much
like so much lately.
And actually, now that you mention it, I remember that Detective Lane was in Felicia Bay.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Lily didn't put her there as, as a happy coincidence.
Yeah.
So maybe she sees them, maybe she sees the car. Now they're in a yellow car, which is a little bit more, noticeable.
Yeah.
Car streaked with blood.
And
How long
gunshots.
do they drive a car covered with blood and bullets and like
they have to pull over and clean it.
I know they got to do something. Like it could look like beat up, but I don't think they can continue driving a car that's covered in blood. I mean, that's what's going to happen, but it's not what.
That's what makes me believe that they will go to Moonbright.
Everybody's in everybody's business in Moonbright, so people see a car like that on the
Oh yeah, also like she's got those nosy neighbors, like those gossipy hens. Like they're not going to Moonbright. She's too noticed there. Yeah, they're not going to Moonbright. They're going. They're like, it's either 𝗰𝗵𝗱 or somewhere else. That
I love how petty Tora is. So, I was just looking over the last few panels. He's paying Quincy back for looking at her bum.
He's probably also paying Quincy back from having to listen to all his sex noises all the time.
Maybe.
Yeah, that too as well. But
probably copying exactly what he does.
And also going
he's always forced to listen to all of Quincy's sex noises.
Going through her lingerie.
Going through lingerie.
Buying her
Getting Poppy a maid outfit. Like, come on. There's so much that Tora can pay.
Yeah, I think Tora willingly overlooked many of Quincy's, let's say, trespassings toward Poppy. Like in the beginning, before she said "I love you," he was okay. It's not my business. I don't want to get involved. I don't want to hear what are they saying. So he was still reserved. But once she said "I love you," it's like she claimed him. And now, whenever Quincy trespasses with her, like when they were in the apartment and he was grabbing her, and he was with the gun, we would just put her down, or if you value your safety. That's the same attitude right now. Oh, you looked at her, now you have to hear me, that she is taking care of me and not of you. That's pettiness and jealousy, and I love it.
Yes.
He's getting payback for all the times that he couldn't, or he didn't want to say anything, or he didn't care.
Yeah.
There's definitely, and we also have a bet. I mean, she owes him putting on the maid outfit.
That's true.
He said, "I'm gonna take you to rescue Louise, but
maid outfit for a week."
Maid outfit for a week. So I think we might be seeing Pops cooking and maybe cleaning.
In a maid outfit. Yeah, but Quincy can't be around for that. Tora would never allow Quincy to see Poppy in that maid outfit.
And I don't know if we've seen it, but I think before we came back from hiatus, I think Lily had shared like a preview, and it was Poppy in the maid outfit, kind of looking like very, very sensual, like pinup. Did that kind of came out?
I think it was with his imagination.
Yeah, it was in his, it was
okay. Don't mind me then. Don't mind me then. Forget I mentioned it, but yeah, I think I think we definitely need like a few episodes of downtime. Let them rest, let them have a shower, let them get a good night's sleep. Let them cuddle, please.
Like I would be okay if Lily does a few episodes of what she calls the middle child episodes, where it's just like, or the saggy middle episode. What she called those at one time? The saggy middle episodes? I forget what she called those. But yeah, like because they need a break. They need a break. They all need a break. I mean, I don't want a break, but they need a break.
They've been through a lot. They've been running. They've been stressed. And I also think there's going to come a moment where everything's going to boil over, because there's been a lot of emotions in the past few days and hours. Oh, Raluca. I think she got disconnected.
All right. let me message her, but we do have to finish up. So, yeah, I guess what's everyone's favorite panel?
Oh, obviously it's the smolder. It's got to be the smolder.
That smolder was so good.
I mean, it's just like,
That
obviously
smolder
this
was
will
so
be a sticker on something of mine very soon.
Oh,
Yes.
cute.
This is my favorite.
my favorite.
I mean,
is-
this one too.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, this one too.
That's my
Right.
favorite. What is your name?
Obviously it's gonna be one of Quincy. I'm just trying to see which one. I like all the holy shit ones. Okay, I'm just gonna go with the one where he's panicking afterwards. Where he's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I just did that. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay." Because he's so cute and so endearing and so adorable. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, this one. Raluca said that her internet went down.
Okay.
Yeah, she's coming back in a minute.
I
love that one.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, the whole artwork is, I mean, it's just been like episode after episode, it's just so good. You know, like all the details and how the story has progressed. You know, like it's been fast, but at the same time, you know, everything has been so very, like the storytelling has been chef kiss.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not for sure to wait for Ralu, but I guess the last thing I just decided to add a audience question. So like a question for the audience to answer at the end. So whoever's listening, you can write in the comments, either YouTube or Instagram or wherever, Spotify. What do you think Quincy has killed people or not? We discussed it, so let's see what the audience thinks, if he has or hasn't.
Yes.
Let us know what you think about Quincy.
Yep. Yeah, Ralu, sorry. I think we're gonna finish up, but thank you so much for joining, Eileen,
Thank
Veronica, and
you.
Raluca. It was an awesome episode, and thanks so much.
Thank
Hope you
you.
guys like it. Have a great
Bye.
time, guys.
Thank you to my current patrons: Lily, Molly, Veronica, Emily, Joe, Rochelle, 𝗪𝗪, Anne Rose, Alexa, Misty, Joanne, Esther, I'm watching you people, Emily, Jean, Kay, Lily, Beckett, Christine, Sadie, Teresa, Mrs. Castaldo, 𝗵𝗵𝗂𝗃𝗧, Ruby, Sophia, and Katrina. Your support is truly appreciated.